everyone, welcome to episode 2 of season 3 of the Yarnivore podcast. I'm Sadie, I'm your hostess. I am here almost a week later with an update, and the bub is sleeping. Hopefully he remains sleeping and we can just get this all done. Copy. I have no finished objects. None. And I'm fine with that because I've been all over the place as far as actually working on things. So in no particular order, I will now show you what I've been up to. We have the McDonald cardigan, which looks something like that, but that is poorly done because I ran out of ink. And I'm making it for a friend's baby. I am using the Pound of Love in some color. As you can see, it came like this. I had no end to describe to me what color I was using. I've got my formerly Truffle Shuffle stitch markers going on. They're bats and they're awesome. And I have one more repeat and then I get to separate. So this is where I'm at. I like the stitch difference. I've got about 2 repeats done since I last showed you. And yeah, I'm using a 3.5 millimeter needle. These are my cubics. Is that what they're called? No. Zings? I don't know. I enjoy these ones, but I only buy them if I can feel them first because I have had some where the joins are really rough. So that's where I'm at with this. I've still got a bit, you know, she's only like 20 weeks, 22 weeks along, so there you have it. I've got a crib behind me. Just throw it in the crib for now. That's what I'll do. We've not moved to the crib yet. It'll be a while, but we're getting there. Okay, and that one doesn't have a project bag. I don't actually know why. It's not like I don't have project bags. My Fat Squirrel Fibers project bag, we of course have the Flax, which I think I was on the Primrose by Black Trillium. This is being saved for the arms. The first color was Dragon Tail by Yarns and then La Holla. Focus. No. And the third color, which I have added in now, is Nitty and Color in the After the Storm colorway on Acoustic Sock, which is our 80/20. I am using a 3.5 or 3.25 or 3.75. What am I using? This is a free pattern by Tin Can Knits. It goes up to a 4XL, which is 59-inch chest. I'm currently using the 3.75 millimeters. I use 2.75s for the ribbing. The ribbing is out of Knitter's Nightmare in the Twilight Garden colorway. So this is where we're at. So there's the first color, there's the second color, and I just started into the third color. So there you go. It's kind of a schmozzle right now. Here, if I do it upside down, you can see it better. There you go. So there it's striped in, and there it is starting on the bottom here by itself. I have one more color if I need to put it in, caked up and ready to go, and that is by Hula Hut Yarns. And this is just mindless knitting, which I need. Oh, how I need it. Also, in relation to the baby, because I am doing co-feeding because my milk didn't come in as much as it should have, so I don't produce enough for him and we have to supplement with formula. I have to hold him in a specific way to get him to drink the formula and for him not to ingest too much air because of his high palate and just his general, the fact that he had sucking issues at birth, but that will be in the birth story. And so as a result, I have basically tendinitis right here, and so I can't knit as much as I want to, and I still have to wear my splints when I sleep. It's just unpleasant is what it is. Sure, restart the computer, you annoying thing. But so it goes. That's what ice packs and splints are for. In my Pam woven bag, I have my Annette inspired socks. I finished the first one. Woo! Here it is. These are based off of what Annette had made, which is a helix sock. And so as you can see, I've been using leftover scraps and striping it. And my computer is shutting down and starting back up, so there may be a blue tint right now. And then I used some leftover Patton's Croix in the stretch in the olive colorway to do the heel, the toe, and the cuff. And these are big, and they are for my husband. And my mother moved my sock blockers when she was in here, and so I can't put it on a blocker to show you. But I finished the first one, and all I did was make a magic ruffle cake, which I believe was the Knitting Pipeline's big thing. And I'm knitting from the inside and the outside at the same time, and I'm staggering it. And so I started the second sock. Here's the Patton's Croix stretch sock, super old, ancient almost, and that's what I'm using for the cuff, the heel, and the toe. And then of course, so I'm using a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle, I think, or it might be a 2.5 millimeter needle because these are for the husband. I don't have my needle gauge to tell you. I think I started thinking it was a 2.25 and then I found out it was a 2.5. They're sock rockets, they're supposed to tell you, but mine don't because they've been worn off. But there we are. That's where we're at. As you can see, there's the transition line. It kind of spirals around the sock and looks cool, but you can tell I'm using some leftover Desert Vista dye works. It's striping in there with some greens. Like I said, I just made a ruffle cake, a magic cake, and essentially getting a pair of socks out of nothing. Okay, this blue is gonna bug me. Give me 2 shakes. Okay, so super long foot, decently long cuff, and a heel flap. These fit him really nice. He really enjoys them, and actually using the stretch for this really helped me out because he does like the fit of these. So I may just keep this ball of stretch and keep using it for heel or for the ribbing for socks for him because he likes it so much. So there's that. This one got some work, not as much work as I wanted to get done on it, but I'll take whatever I can. I did not bring the pattern, but you've seen it many times. It's in my Schnuffeltier bag, which Tracy made me. It says Nevermore. It's got Maleficent. It's perfect. I am still working on Jessie's Girl. I am getting somewhere. This is on a 5mm needle or US 8. Got my Decor Noir crow pin. They're still on Etsy, Decor Noir. And I have several of their stitch markers and I like them all. I'm using hand spun. I just balled this one because I was too lazy to set up my Swift and stuff. And this is where I've gotten to. So this is basically, it's got a little cap sleeve, but it's basically a sleeveless top. And there's the difference between the front and the back. I didn't measure my gauge. I have absolutely no idea if I'm getting gauge, and I don't care I do believe I measured what I had previously knit, and I got gauge in that with these needles. So it's kind of a wing and a prayer, and I don't really care. It will fit. That will be fine. So I am going to make it a bit longer, so it's more of a tunic length rather than a just a t-shirt. And these are interchangeable Knit Picks Pro. No, not Knit Picks Pro. Knitter's Pride Dreams. That's what I'm using. Knit Picks Pro. I don't even know where I got that from. Screw off iCloud. See, I have to multitask or this is not going to get done. It's just not. And then the last thing I have going on is in this gorgeous Star Wars bag, which is by someone from Regina, who I love their bags, but I don't seem to have a tag. Oh, wait, here we go. Sewnbylindsay.com. Sewnbylindsay.com. Right here. Right there. Focus. It doesn't want to focus, but Lindsay. LINDSAY.com. And I really like it. It's also got Star Wars on the inside. So, the story to go along with this knit. One of the people who has really been spearheading the Diversity Affront and Confront with Sophia Tron and everybody else, Transitory, is Electric Tree. She did a very humorous take on one of the offensive videos, and I just loved it. And it has a pattern called Groteen, and she decided to do Groteen along. Knit along. There's also a crochet pattern, so either way, if you're a knitter or crocheter, it's completely covered. And all the proceeds go to the True North Fund, which is of course very near and dear to my heart because it supports the Aboriginal communities in the North, in First Nations communities in the North, whatever the appropriate nomenclature currently is. I'm not in Canada, so I don't remember what they've changed it to. I'll go with First Nations because I say that all the time. But it does humanitarian work with First Nations who actually need it, and need it very badly. In spite of the fact of living in a first world country, they have third world conditions. So the Groteen pattern knitting goes to True North. The Groteen pattern crochet goes to a different First Nations fund. But either way, they're being donated, and that's awesome. And it's a very simple shawl. I haven't knit a shawl in a super long time. I'm using a 5mm needle, which is not the called for needle, but I'm knitting super tight lately, or no, super loose. So I felt that going down some sizes could work, and it also said the gauge is not necessary. I am using handspun that I made. It is Nest Fiber Studios. I can't remember what colorway this is to save my life. I couldn't find it in any notes. It might be on my Ravelry page. I didn't check. I'm a horrible person. But it's very pretty, as you can see. Totally not my colors, but I know who to send it to. And it's knitting up gorgeously. So there's a front and a back, but you know, both sides look really nice. So this is the front. It's a bias linen stitch kind of shawl. And as you can, so that's the front and that's the start. Look at that texture though. That is gorgeous. I'm just loving how it shows up in the handspun. And then the back side, you get all these cool little pearl bumpies. That is also really cool. Now this is a silk blend, so I'm going to get a lot of nice drape out of it. And because I went up the size, I'm not going to get like the rock hard ness that you can get sometimes when you have a tighter stitch. So I think everyone should get it. Now, the Knit Along is being hosted on Instagram, so if you do join, if you buy the pattern and you join, tag your stuff, Groteen, Cal, if you want. There's also Caroline Dick Designs, and be entered to win for prizes. They're pretty cool. And yeah, so that's where my Groteen's at. It's a very easy to memorize pattern. It's kind of like easy, like The Hitchhiker is easy for my mind. So I'm loving it, and I can do a couple of repeats before my hands start to hurt, so that's what I'm doing. It's a great cause, seriously. Come join me. Come join me. In fact, you know what? Join the Ravelry group, Yarnivorous. That's my Ravelry group. That's where you'll find all the show notes when I get back to making them. Currently, the baby is taking precedent, but once I get show notes done, they will be there. But come join the Ravelry group. I'm going to start a thread, and there's my son. Is it just one squirm? Post a picture of a finished routine. Actually, no. Yeah, post a picture of a finished routine, and you will be entered to win. I will pull out some yarn. I've got some prizes from long ago that were never claimed that I can use. I've got some leftover Knitter's Nightmare that I can put in there to sweeten the deal. We're gonna have a couple prizes. I will draw one prize for every 30 pictures that are there. So if there's 30 pictures, I'll draw one. If there's 60, I'll draw two. If there's under 30, I'll draw one. So get your routine on. I think it runs till the end of April. Look in the thread. I will do up a thread just for routine pictures. No chatter, please. I'll put up a chatter thread as well if we want to talk about what we're using. And so in the thread for the pictures, I will put pictures only, and I will tell you when it ends, and I will tell you when it ends again when I record next, but I know it's in April. I think it's the end of April, but this is super easy. It's one skein of sock yarn. Super easy. So go by the pattern, knit your routine, put it on Instagram, get yourself entered there, and then come on over to the Yarnivore group, join the group, knit the shawl, post a picture, maybe win a prize. How's that sound? He went back to bed. He just had a squeak. Okay. Because I'm so close to where he is, I don't have my monitor in here. The monitor is in the living room. I might get it before I record the next part, though. Okay, so if you're here for knitting, that's all I have for knitting. If you like other crafts and you want to stick around, I have some sewing swag that I picked up because I did order some yarn, but it hasn't gotten here yet because it happens to be a club with another crafty girl and that I couldn't resist, and it's the April Club, and the April Club hasn't shipped because it's not April, but it will be coming, and I will be very happy. But until then, so if all you do is knitting, thanks for coming. Nice to see ya. Glad to be back. Knit a routine. Come join us. And because I'm just gonna, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And so here's some sewing stuff. I went to the sewing place because, as I know, when I move to Canada, these are not going to be easy patterns to get, and they're going to cost $1 million. So I want to get them now. And we got our tax refund, and what did I spend it on? I spent it on cross-stitch knitting and fabric. Like, what kind of person would I be if I didn't? So I got 2 fat quarters. I got this, and I got this because, I mean, hello, look at these cats. I needed them. Not gonna lie, I'll probably go back for more. I'm just gonna throw them in the crib. And then I got patterns because patterns were really what I was after. I got, and I had to find ones that came in my size. Let me tell you, things that come in my size can be hard to find. I got the neighborhood sweatshirt and hoodie, which goes up to a double XL, and the double XL finished measurement for the chest is 52.5 inches, the hip is 54, the length is 28.25. So it will fit me. Currently, see, it's that I got the hips of a double X, and I got the boobs of an XL, which is 48.5 finished. Now, it's sized for a 44 and a 46, but, I mean, yeah, no, I always look at the finished measurements because I don't necessarily want it to be as oversized as it is on the model. My husband wanted me to pick this one up. He wants me to make this for us to go on a wall. I know. He's like, we should put that on a wall. He wants it to be in our bedroom as like kind of a piece of art. There we go. And it is the skyline reflected by Hunter Design Studio in a twin and queen. He wants me to do it in queen. And quite frankly, whenever my husband wants me to sew something, it's kind of fun. We also picked this up. He was like, you need this, you need to make this for the bub. And it's William the Whale, because we're doing nautical stuff. And how can you go wrong with a whale? You can't. I've seen Kirby Bird, Jess made a bunch of these. I think Vicky also has done it. It's Scout, the Scout tee. And the finished garment bust is 48.5 with a waist of 50 1/4 and a hip of 52 3/4. So the hip will fit me, the waist will not. I'm sorry, I'm like a deflated balloon. And the bust will be a little tight, but I'm going to be using a knit fabric, so I feel that the stretch is okay. And if it looks horrifying, I can just wear it as a bed shirt. Okay, I know it's Vicky with no E who did the stow bag. She did a bunch of them, and I was like, ooh, I want that. So I picked up the Grine Studio French Supply Company joint thing with the stow bag. There's a small and a large, and what I might do is order some tracing paper and actually just trace these out, because I'm thinking I want to do the small and the large, and therefore I shouldn't cut the original pattern. I guess I'm gonna grow up and start doing that. The next two were 40% off because I guess they were liquidating their stock. And this person is, I believe, from the Pacific Northwest, because these all relate to areas nearby. Straight Stitch Designs, the Bellevue top, which is really swank. And actually this little part on the bottom is included. You can either add or not add. I probably would not add. This goes up to a 24, which has a chest of 50.5, a waist of 44.5, and a high hip of 50, which I think I can get away with. I'm probably going to have to take the waist out a bit, or use something that's super stretchy. Just saying. Then we have, like, don't you just love how, like, it's like a size 24, but really I'm not that huge. I didn't think I was that huge. I fit a 20 otherwise, but apparently when it comes to sewing my own stuff, I need to sew the big sizes. Straight Stitch Designs Laurelhurst was the other one I picked up, and it was also 40% off. It goes up to a 24 with a chest of 50.5, which will work for me because this is an open drapey fabric thing. And while I would also like actually knit a sweater that looks like this, to be able to sew it will also be nice, because if I'm going back into the work world, Lord knows I'm going to need some cover up. And the last thing I picked up was actually my husband's urgings, and I love everything Elizabeth Hartman does. This is the Sea Life Sampler, Awesome Ocean. And it's got the little one on the back, and he wants me to do a little one so we can hang it on the wall for the bub. And I think that'll be awesome too. So that's everything I picked up at the fabric store, because my imagination knows no bounds at what I think I can accomplish, because I can't actually accomplish that much, but I think I can. That's everything I've got for you this week. I'm hoping to be back next week. I'm hoping to be starting a weekly cycle of some kind. And of course, it will be posted on Instagram, on my Instagram, which is Blue Ruin. I'm Sadie Ruin on Ravelry. Our group is Yarnivorous, and you can find us on YouTube. And I think that's everything. I think he's awake, so I will be chatting with you later. Bye.